Okay, so again, let's see the syntax of while statement. So in while statement, we have this keyword while, and then we have expression here. This is a Boolean expression, and this will give you true or false value. And when this expression is true, whatever statements you have inside the while block, they will execute. In this case, statement 1, statement 2 will execute, and then your code will again, your program will jump to evaluate this expression. If it is again true, then this set of statements will execute, and then your program will basically again go to this beginning of the loop, and the expression is evaluated. If the expression is false, for example, then your program will come out here, right? So this is basically the syntax of while. Now let's write a program using while loop that can display the multiplication table for a given number. For example, if the user enters 3, the program should display 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. If the user enters 4, the program should display 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. So here we have to ask that number from the user whose multiplication table you want to display. And here, the multiplication table, the numbers that we are printing up to 10 counts for any given number. For 3, we are printing from 3 to 30. For 4, we are going to print 4 to 40. So we are printing them, we are tracking them for 10 counts, right? So we need two variables. One is the number that for which the user wants the multiplication table. And the second number, we can say it count, that we will use to track the number of basically displays, okay? So how do we do that? So here, simple, we'll declare two variables. And we will ask the user to enter the number for multiplication table. And the user will provide that using cin. And then here we have this count that we are going to use for tracking. We initialized it with 0. And then here, what we are going to do, let's say count less than or 10. And then we are going to use this. Actually, we should initialize the count with 1 and compare with 10. And here we should. Okay, so here, let's see how does this code work. So here with this line, you know that what we are doing, we are declaring two numbers. One is num and another is count. And then in these two lines, line number 18 and 19, we are asking the user to enter the number. So we display first, enter the number. Then we ask the user to provide that number using cin. And then what we are doing here, line number 21, we are initializing count with 1 so that we can start tracking. And then we have an expression here. We have an expression here, count less than equal 10. So here count is initially 1. So 1 is smaller or equal 10, which is true. So this will be true. And then we have this here code. So when it is true, So then we are displaying this. So num is whatever the user is providing. Let's say user is providing 3. 3 is multiplied with 1. So it will display 3 and then space, right? So it will display 3 and space, okay? And then the code will go again here, right? So now here you see that we still have count 1. 1 is smaller than equal 10, which is true. Then we are again multiplying num. Let's say num was 3. 3 times count. Then again you will get 3, right? So here, this program, your count is, in this code, your count is not getting updated. So this loop will go infinitely. It will never stop, and always it will display 3, 3, 3, 3 if you have given num as 3. So here, how to fix this code? So we have a problem here. So we are not updating the count variable. So we should do that. Okay, so how do we do that? Now let's look at this code. So now let's look at this code. So initially count is 1. You compare count less than equal to 10, which is 1 is less than or equal to 10, which is true. Then your program will execute this line of code. And num, let's say user enters 3. And then 3 times 1 is 3. Your program will display. And then your count will become basically now, count initially was 1. So count will become basically 2. So then your program will come here again. So count will compare with 10. So 2 is compared with 10 for less than or equal to relationship, which gives you true basically. So then true. And then you have this statement that will execute again. So you will have this statement which will execute again. So 3 times 2 will give you 6. Then your count will be updated now. Count earlier was 2. Now it will become 3. And then your program will again go here. So now count will be compared with 10 for less than or equal to, which will give you 2 again. So this will give you 2. And then you will have this line of code again. It will execute. So it will give you num is 3, count is 3. It will give you 9. And then count will increment by 1, which now it will become 4, and so on. So this will go on until it will go on till count is less than or equal to 10. But when count will become 11 in this loop, so then 11 will be compared with 10 for less than or equal to. At that point of time, it will false, and then your program will jump here, and it will display a new line. Okay, so let's run this program. So let's run this program. Let's say I enter 4. So I want to get the multiplication table for 4. So you see that now this program has executed this code, while loop code, and it is giving us multiplication table for 4. Similarly, when I will run this program, let's say now I put basically 5, it will give us the multiplication table for 5, right? So 5 to 50. If I run it for 3, so it gives us the multiplication table for 3, right? Okay. So again, so here what we are doing, we have declared 2 variables. They are of type integers, num and count. And we'll take the number for which we want the multiplication table from the user using these 2 lines of statements in line number 18 and 19. So user will enter the number through these 2 lines. And then here we have a count variable which we are using to track how many times we have computed the multiplication table. So we initialize it with 1. And then here we have the while loop statement. So here what we are doing, we have a Boolean expression because we know that like how many times we want to basically execute the loop. So we need to provide a condition that can basically guide us for 10 times, right? That can help us to repeat our code 10 times. So here I am comparing this count with less than or equal to 10, right? And then when this expression is true, then I'm displaying num times count, and then I'm updating count so that like count will go from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and so on. It will go up to 10. And when it will become 11, so 11 will be compared with 10 for less than or equal to relationship. Then it will basically, that time it will get false. Then your code will basically jump here. It will execute this code, right? So now let's do another example for while statement.